Hello and welcome, my name is Soy Kisimov and I'll be your host for the Geek Tech Show today. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the MacBook Pro, the Professional Edition, and the top 10 reasons why maybe you should think twice before you decide to own and buy this MacBook Pro. Let's get started right now reviewing this Mac and the reasons why I think that you should hold off on this purchase. If you did decide and you do like this show, make sure you subscribe. There's going to be a link right down below. Also, make sure you smash the thumbs up button if you did enjoy this video. See you on the inside and let's get started reviewing this brand new edition 2018 MacBook Pro. So let's get started with talking about the MacBook Pro and a few things I really dislike about. But before I go into this, I have been an Apple fanboy ever since I got into computers, and I love the operating system and ease of use. And bar none, there is almost nothing like it that you can actually get started doing Photoshop, editing, movies, any creative work without the Apple computer. So I do have a previous version of the MacBook Pro around the 2015 version, and it's almost perfect. There's almost nothing wrong with it except it's a little bit slow and the memory is just not there. I need a lot more memory too. So I decided to buy this computer only to be super disappointed in this, and I'm gonna go into and tell you exactly what things I dislike about off the bat. Number one thing I really don't like about is the following. If you press any key on this, it will automatically turn on. I think this is something that I totally dislike about this computer. It is a big thing. It's not a small thing. This is a huge thing. I don't like a feature that turns it on with any key. I want to be able to turn it on with one key only. Now you might say this is super high tech. You need to be able to turn it on with one touch of a button. I understand that. Not everybody likes this feature. And I don't think they have something in the preferences that lets you turn it off. I wish they did. I wish you could reassign maybe one button right here, turn it on and off. I don't want accidentally to hit this on for a wide variety of different reasons. Number two, the finish itself easily gets marks on it out of nowhere. Now you can easily wipe it off too, but I'm actually thinking that it's not made with the same quality material that the previous one was made as well. So this is also a big thing too. So this is something I don't like, the finish itself. Now, the third thing I dislike about, this one is interesting, is the flimsy screen construction. The previous version itself, this was very steady. Look how it bounces. That's not good. Also, it moves very easily. Now over time this is going to get loosened up a lot more. My 5-year-old computer doesn't even do this. So that is actually a big thing too. Now, we got 3 different things that I dislike about. Number 4, the serial ports. Right there. This is our Thunderbolt. There's 4 of those ports. I understand why Apple actually did this. You can plug this in. Any location, 4 different areas. It's also super slim. I get that. I could care less how super slim it is. I want it for functionality purposes. Also, the previous one had a special thing in it. It was MagSafe, otherwise known as magnetic interface. You plug it in. If somebody actually hits it or touches it, it will unplug itself. It was ingenious. On the other hand, you know what's going to happen here? Well, it could actually drag the whole computer down, but you can see that they did think about that, kind of think about that. So it actually does snap itself out instead. So that's okay. I mean, that makes a little bit more sense here, but I do wish it had some kind of a magnetic thing in here. So yeah, that actually is, I would say it passes, kind of passes, but it doesn't. And here's why. You can see here, it fails. The test fails. So it can accidentally just, still drag your laptop all the way to the floor. So this actually does not work. So those are 4 different areas that this computer fails. And that's a big thing. Now, there's more. And I'll show you. So after those 4 different things, guess what? Number 5th reason is this. Now, if you're a Mac fanboy, you probably have a bunch of peripherals and other things you want to plug right in here. There is no more CD drive, by the way, so you have to plug it in too. Now, you have to use USB port for everything. Most things that you have are USB port friendly. Every time they change the interface, put different ports in here. You gotta go ahead, pay extra money to upgrade and get some kind of a cable. In fact, almost everything requires now a cable for this. And now if you use this cable, guess what? You can't plug almost anything in here whatsoever. So that's also another big bummer. I think we're up to number 6 now. Number 6 is something that looks like it's a plus, but it's actually a minus. It's this huge screen right here. It is just too big for its use. As you're typing, and you will be typing, guess what? This gets right in the way, meaning the cursor itself actually moves as you're typing it. Who actually thought about that? It looks like this thing just didn't pass the quality control. Steve Jobs would be furious looking at something like this. Why somebody didn't think of those small things? Why wasn't Steve Jobs just sitting there? And I know Steve Jobs inspected every single one of the things that he created. He looked at everything. Also, we have Johnny, who used to be the engineer for quality control as well. He is no longer there at Apple. And now we can see how those things are slipping right through the cracks, those small things that make a little bit of sense to us and you don't actually pay attention, but they do make a big difference. Next thing, number 8, is this right here. Now this looks like a plus to you as well because it gives you all those extra functions over here. Now I do wish I could have bought one without this stupid thing up here. I dislike it. Now here's why. First of all, it always changes all the time. And some of those functions that I want to use all the time are sometimes disappearing or moving to another location, such as the sound one, such as the brightness. Now right here we have the brightness. But in other apps, it's going to move around. And sometimes you have to press 2 buttons just to get to change the brightness in itself. That's also another big bummer. I really dislike it. Now, next thing, I think we're up to 8 now. I lost count. Is this shutdown. Interesting enough, shutdown right here. You would think you would press on it, it's going to go off. No touch screen over here. Okay, that makes sense. iPads is going to cannibalize the iPad itself. But that's not the reason for it. Probably Apple didn't like you smoothing the screen and making it dirty. I understand that part. So you can go over here and press on shutdown. But why would you ever even need to do that? Where is the old button where you just press on it, hold on it, and it will just shut down? That was convenient. Now you have to go and do 2-step process, wasting your time every single time for you to go ahead and look for where is the shutdown in this one, or go to the menu and go to shutdown, and then it appears right here, the screen where it says shutdown right there. Want to see what it is? Well, let's go ahead and one more thing, the password right in here. This wasn't there before. Now we have to have a password login every single time in here. So here we go. We are right inside here. We want to shut it down. We're going right into the Apple screen, going where it says shutdown all the way there. Press on shutdown. And guess what? Now it's asking me if I want to shut down once again. I went to shut down. Why would it need to ask me? So there's 2 different options. One shut down right here. One is right there. So you can just press on it right now and now it shuts down. Or does it? It's supposed to shut. Oh, now it did. Now it shut down. Okay, let's start nitpicking some things here. Number 9. Right there. It says MacBook Pro. Right here. Why? Why would you do this? This is like ugly looking thing that says MacBook Pro. Get rid of it. Apple never had it before. It's not needed. It just doesn't look good. Next thing. This is small, really small thing, but whoever made this, it's not made the same quality as the previous one that was made. It's more like mass produced, and here's why. This thing itself is a little bit sharp. It's not sanded over like the previous MacBook Pro. It would be actually sanded. Every single one of those edges would be sanded, so it doesn't even feel at all sharp. This one feels like a little bit sharp, just a little bit. It's not going to cut your finger or anything. It just feels sharp. Why? I like it to be soft textured, and that's how the previous one was. I think we're up to number 10 here. So what is the 10th thing? It's actually the keyboard itself. You would be surprised, but the keyboard is actually the evolution of something that was excellent in the previous Mac. And here's why. When you type it in, the keys themselves, they sound bouncy. They bounce right back in. I know they fixed the keyboard with the previous issue, or need to bring in some new issue all in itself. Bouncy keyboards, not comfortable to type it in. The feedback is different. Every time you press on it, you feel like you're doubling it up. Like doubling. What I mean, it's actually, it doesn't feel like you pressed on it, just the way it is, and you have to kind of press on it a second time. And this keyboard itself doesn't do justice. So overall, it is a good Mac, but so many things that could have improved to make this so much more better. And all those things, oversight, nobody has it for this Mac, unfortunately.